At number 2 is the LSU Tigers. Whit Weeks coming back for his junior year. My number 3 linebacker in college football after a terrific sophomore year last year. 21 tackles for loss or no gain as a true sophomore, the 4th most among all linebackers in the country. 25 pressures were a top 15 mark in college football too. Last year, Harold Perkins Jr. was my number 1 linebacker in the country entering the year. He's back for his redshirt junior campaign. As a true freshman in 2022, he led all Power 5 linebackers with a 91 pass rushing grade. And then the next year, he was among the top 15 linebackers in the country in coverage grade with an 81.1 coverage grade. He did suffer a torn ACL in September. It wasn't really looking great even before that torn ACL too. I think he could really reestablish himself, though, as a star in college football next to Whit Weeks, and they could be number 1 on this list, too. You have Devon Keys coming back for his sophomore year. He had 70-plus grades as both a run defender and in coverage as a true freshman last year for LSU's defense. And then 3 players who were top 10 linebackers coming out of high school in Tylen Singleton, Charles Ross, and Jaden Breaker, too. But listen, Whit Weeks, a top 3 linebacker in the sport, a guy in Harold Perkins who I thought was the best linebacker in the country last year. And then a lot of other good depth, too. But those 2 at the top, Dalton, Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins Jr., almost good enough to be number 1 for me on this list.
Yeah, obviously Weeks is the headliner, is kind of the heart and soul of their defense. He was the one constant in their defense last season, and Keys is really good. But I think Perkins is the biggest X factor for this entire defense and maybe one of the biggest X factors in the SEC. We know LSU is good enough on offense to compete at the top of the SEC, but their defense has let them down. You know, in 2023, Perkins was one of the better coverage linebackers in college football as well. Last year, obviously, didn't play. So curious to see with all 3 of these guys what sort of role that Perkins is used in, because I think that's the biggest question, is with him being kind of undersized, even at linebacker he's got kind of average size, and then we saw how good he was rushing the passer, but he's too small to play off the edge full time. He's kind of the joker in this defense. If he can come back and play up to his athletic talent and play like he did really in his true freshman year as well, and then combine that with the coverage instincts that he got in 2023, you could be talking about the number 1 unit in college football with this linebacker room. But Perkins is a massive X factor, I think, again, not just for LSU, I think for the entire SEC. When you think about how talented he is and what is possible if he is a star, next to Weeks, who's already a star, next to Keys, who's going to be a good player, and a really good offense that we know with Garrett Nussmeier is going to put up points. This is a moment, I think this room for LSU, especially Perkins, is as important for them and their success this season as anything on their team.
They need this linebacker unit to be great because there are significant questions on LSU's defense, on the defensive line, and even in the secondary too. There's no question with this linebacker unit. This is a really damn good linebacker unit, a top 2 unit in the country, in my opinion. A great case to be number 1, 2. That's easily the best part of LSU's defense next year. So they definitely need that to kind of lead the defense next year. And what's the biggest question mark for LSU the last few years has been, can the defense play well enough to catch up to the offense, which has been an incredible unit over the last few years in college football. But number 2 is LSU. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.